What's up YouTube, it's JackalGoldKick. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a discussion video on why King Mathers should have came out. So for those that don't know, King Mathers was an album by Eminem that was supposed to come out between like 2006 and 2007. But the album never came out because Eminem was going through a lot at that time. His pill addiction, he lost proof, and he wasn't as in tune with hip hop. He was missing for a long time till he came back with Relapse. But King Mathers was the next album he was supposed to do before Relapse. But the album never came out and it was never finished. And I wish that King Mathers would have came out, because I think it would have been an interesting album. There's a lot of songs that leaked from it, and some of the songs that leaked from it are pretty dope. Like the tribute song he did for Proof called Difficult, that was really good. Goat, I like the song Goat that was meant for that album. I think that's the better Rap God. Rap God's kind of the same concept as Goat, saying why he's the best, but I like Goat more than Rap God. 50 Ways, that's a dope song. Some of the songs on Relapse were actually on King Mathers. You know, Beautiful, Careful What You Wish For, My Darling, those three songs, they were actually meant for King Mathers to my knowledge. So we actually did get some cuts from King Mathers on Relapse. And it would just be interesting to hear like the whole King Mathers album, what it sounds like, what were the features going to be like, what would Eminem rap about on there, what type of songs would we have gotten, what would the feature going to be like, what kind of music videos were we going to get. I think it would have been interesting to see King Mathers come out. I really wish we could have saw that album release. Now, if he would have put that album out around 2006 and 2007, then maybe we would have never gotten Relapse. But I think he could still put the album out nowadays and say, hey guys, this is an album I made in the mid-2000s that I was going to put out, but I never did, but here it is. And King Mathers sounds like it has a lot of material for it. You know, I'm kind of obsessed with that album and that era of Eminem, the 2006 and 2007 era, because Eminem was so distant from rap. Like 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, Eminem was distant all those years. He wasn't really doing a lot. He was doing some features and stuff, but he wasn't doing a whole lot. And he kind of had a style change once we got to Relapse. That kind of encore, you know, Slim Shady style, that was like the last bit of that was in the King Mathers material, basically. And I was reading this like document of files. And in this document of files, there was like some information about King Mathers. And some of the stuff I read about King Mathers was interesting. Like, apparently there was like 25 to like 30 something songs recorded for it. There was like a lot of material made for the album. And they basically said that there was just a ton of music made for King Mathers. It was also stated that the single for King Mathers was supposed to be a song called Keys to the City. There was going to be two versions of it. They also said that the album was going to be similar to Marshall Mathers LP. They wanted to take it back to that style. I think the Bass Brothers were going to work on that. I can't fully remember their name, but they were going to work on it. I know some of the features on there, like there was supposed to be a song on there called Never Gave a Fuck Less, and it featured, I think, like 50 Cassius and Obi Trice. Wish we could have heard that song. Some other songs that leaked off of King Mathers that were supposed to be on there, Syllables, which has Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and a few others. And that song was dope because it was a foretelling of what hip-hop has come to nowadays. Another reason I wish King Mathers would have came out is because we got nothing from Eminem in that time period. I mean, 2005, 6, 7, 8, and all those years, all you got from Eminem was his contribution to the re-up, the various little features he would do with people, the production he would do for like Cassius and Trick, and like, you know, Curtain Call in 2005. But for the most part, Eminem, in terms of solo stuff, he was not doing anything in those years. And it just would have been so interesting to get a album that would have had the essence and material and feel of everything he was dealing with from, you know, 2005, 6, 7, 8, those years. It would have been cool to get an album out of that time period. It just would have been interesting. And I wish King Mathers would have came out. Now, I can't say that I would have wanted King Mathers instead of Relapse, because I don't know, maybe if he put King Mathers out, maybe he would have actually died and never quit his addiction, because he was making and working on King Mathers supposedly when he was dealing with his pill addiction. But when he was making Relapse, he was getting off his pills. But you know, even though time has passed and it's not the mid-2000s anymore, I still think Eminem should release King Mathers, you know, because something that I think artists and creators need to understand in general is there is a difference between what fans think and what a creator thinks. I'll use an example myself. A video of mine that I'm not a fan of is the Shitty Parents rant. I don't like that video. I'm just not a fan of it. But other people do. I don't delete it or hide from it because, hey, if people like it, they like it. JB, for example, he doesn't like a lot of his old songs, but I personally do, you know? And there's a difference between what the creators think and what the artist thinks. And that's something that I think should be understood. So even if Eminem doesn't like King Mathers, I think he should still release it just to show the world this is what was worked on in that time period. And it would be so cool and interesting to hear the King Mathers album, just to hear what it would have sounded like, just to hear what he was talking about, the features, what kind of music videos we would have gotten. And I think a lot of people maybe would have probably appreciated that album more than Relapse, because people's issue with Relapse was the accents, whereas King Mathers, he wasn't really accent heavy on there. So I don't think I have much more else to say, but yeah, this was just a discussion video on why I think Eminem should have put out King Mathers. It's just one of those albums that never came out that should have came out, just like Detox by Dr. Dre, just like the 50 Cent album Street King Immortal, or the 50 Cent album Black Magic, or like Relapse 2. I'll do a video about that after this. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about, you know, the whole King Mathers album, the mystery. There is some material out there that leaked from the album. We had some recent leaks from it. I can't remember, but it was recently. There was a song called Everything. It's like a 2-minute song that was from King Mathers. That song is fucking dope. I love the production. I like the rapping on it. I like the hook. He's got 2 unfinished songs that was meant for that album, Cut Back and Hip Hop, where he says, I cut back on them syllables. I'm not gonna rap it because I'm not a fucking good rapper, but Cut Back was dope. I also like the hip hop song that wasn't ever finished, because it sounded like he was about to overdose on that song. And in general, I wish in some way we could hear King Mathers. It didn't come out in the mid-2000s. That never happened. It would have been interesting if it did happen, but I still think Eminem should put that album out nowadays and all of the material made for it. That way we can see how the album would have been, because I would love to hear that album, and I think it would be interesting. And I just think the album name is cool, King Mathers. That's a cool album name. I like the cover art where he has, I don't know if it's real or fan made, but where he has like the pickaxe on the ground. You know, this album was supposed to be, but maybe the album shouldn't have came out in the mid-2000s, because apparently King Mathers was supposed to be his retirement album. It came out after, it was supposed to come out after Encore, and it was like a trilogy of Encore and Eminem show. It was supposed to be his retirement album. So maybe it's good he didn't put it out, but in general, hopefully one day we can hear King Mathers. I would buy it, you know. If Eminem or anybody else that's a part of his team, if they happen to watch this, I doubt it. If any of you guys, just in general, we got to get King Mathers out, man. Like, just have Eminem put out King Mathers and everything that was made with it. I would buy it. I would love to hear that material, because it would be interesting. And it would have been cool to see what was Eminem up to during that time period in the 2000s where he was just gone. So that's really all I have to say in this video. So yeah, like I said, there is material for King Mathers out there that did leak. There's like fan-made compilations, so you can kind of get a sense of what it sounds like. I don't know if the album would have been good or bad. I'm between, I think the album either would have been a mixed bag, decent, or it would have been really good. But in general, I wish we could have heard King Mathers. That's an album that, you know, never came out, that I wish did. It was supposed to be around 2006, 2007. That's all I got to say in this video. Peace.